I'll read you the shortest one. It's called The Goblins. Once there was a mother, and the goblins had stolen her child out of the cradle. In its place they laid a changeling with thick head and staring eyes, who did nothing but eat and drink. In her misery, the woman went to ask her neighbor for advice. The neighbor told her to take the changeling into the kitchen, set him on the hearth, light a fire, and boil water in 2 eggshells. This would make the changeling laugh, and when a changeling laughs, that's the end of him. The woman did just what the neighbor told her, and as she was putting the eggshells full of water on the fire, the blockhead said, "Now am I as old as the western woods, but never heard told that people cook water in eggshells." And he began to laugh, and as he laughed, there suddenly came a lot of little goblins who brought the right child and set it on the hearth and took their friend away with them.
But it's a great line about the changeling. When the changeling laughs,
that's the end of it.
It's the end of the changeling.
And I love the notion of the goblins coming in and exchanging. The dream when you have the wrong child, that you get the right child.
Yeah.
It's a real primitive notion.
So if we're reading, can I get you to read
Sure.
one of the Gallows songs? I'm not sure how you came across this originally. Was it in your childhood already, or?
Oh, I was in at Yarrow, and met W.D. Snodgrass. I don't know. Do you know his work? You know he was at that time on the top of his form. He had just won a Pulitzer Prize, or was about to win a Pulitzer Prize. And he said to me, "There's this wonderful German poet, and I've been working with somebody in translation. I wondered, do you know him? Christian Morgenstern." And I said, "Christian Morgenstern, absolutely. When little girls go to a birthday party in Vienna, they have to perform. You either do a little dance, or I used to stand on my head, or do something. But one of the things I used to do was say a poem by Christian Morgenstern. Now, I'm not going to say it to you in German, but we can find it in here. It's called The Virus.
The Virus.
I'm going to say it in German. Ein Schnupfen saß auf der Terrasse, auf das sich ein Opfer fasse. Stürzte sich mit wildem Grimm auf einen Menschen namens Schrimm. Paul Schrimm entgegnete Pitsch und hat ihn dann bis Montag früh. That's for your German speaker. I'll do it for you, and then he translated it into English. And from then on, for the next 9 years, we corresponded and visited each other and worked together on these poems. From 59 till something like 6. When was this published?
Did he speak English as well, or he only spoke
he only spoke English.
Oh.
He didn't have any German.
Ah.
So all along I was German into English prose, literal, with lots of monographs about this word or that word, and then he put it into English. Then I got to tweak his English, which was not always right. But this is the translation. The virus. A virus crouched upon the terrace, watching for someone he might harass, then hurled himself with malice fierce upon a human named of Pierce, while Albert Pierce could but respond, "Hey, shoo," and had him till next Monday. Somebody said that Christian Morgenstern is a mix of Edward Lear and Kant. And it's very good. Yes.
Yeah. So, what was the point when you entered the world of children's books? Like, was that inspired by having children?
Yes. It never occurred to me to write a children's book. It was actually my mother who told my children stories about Mitzi, a character called Mitzi. Now, Mitzi was my grandfather had a haberdasher's, dry goods store in the village of fishermen outside Vienna. And the shop girl who helped him was called Mitzi. I think that's how it all came. And my mother told the children these way out stories about Mitzi, and then I took up Mitzi and wrote my first children's bookstore. I think I've certainly had students, not ones that know better, but very many students think that if they like do it this quick little children's store, right? Just get that done with, and then they'll get.
It's going to be easy.
Yeah. You're going to get children. What's the problem? I've never written a children's book that didn't take me 3 years. Literally, I think I'm speaking factually. It's always taken me a minimum of 3 years to get it right, like Noah's thought.
Well, it's almost like poetry in that it's so condensed,
It is
and
indeed.
you have to really.
It has to be even more right and more clear than anything else. And since we allow it to be just as complicated as we are in any other story, it gets very difficult.
Without a word wasted is another.
Have you any interest in writing children's books now?
Well, yes, but I don't seem to manage very well. I've written one with my daughter. I've written one, but they don't go anywhere. They're sitting in the computer.
He's written a wonderful one about a ghost.
And Laura is my editor. A ghost who is a child's best friend in school.
Ah,
Yeah.
It hasn't worked really.
Could you say a word about Mrs. Loveright, and the Pearless Cat? I love this one. I love that.
Only if I can give away what it's really about, which children are supposed to know. It's about Mrs. Loveright. Love, and the second word is W-R-I-G-H-T. In other words, someone who works it, who makes it, or wishes she could. But she's not. She's one of those. She's a spinster type, and she longs for something comfortable and warm and fluffy. And she gets a cat. She asks the delivery boy to bring her a cat, and the cat is a cat. The cat has its own ideas about what it's like to be a cat. It does not want to sit on her lap. It does not want to be stroked. It does not want to purr. That's why it's called Pearless, P-U-R-L-E-S-S. Until right at the end, there are many adventures that they have together, all of them irritating to Mrs. Loveright. In the end, she gets to stroke the cat only when he's asleep. And I don't even want the kiddies to know that I think it's about marriage. You think you know what you want, but you get what you get. And you can make it sort of work. if you don't insist to get what you they did it once on television. There was a program in which children responded to it. And the child who responded to Pearless was really smart. He said, it means that you can't get people to love you the way you want them to love you. That's right.